Hello everyone, my name is Christian, welcome to my hobby blog. Today we're doing part 6 of the Zatoichi watch through. That is movies 18 to 21. Getting close. The titles are Zatoichi and the Fugitives, Samaritan Zatoichi, Zatoichi meets Yojimbo, and Zatoichi goes to the Fire Festival. Joining me today again on our journey through the series is Leon, otherwise known as Undead Nightmare 24. Welcome back.
Thank you, Christian, for having me, man. It's been a lot of fun. We're getting close to the end here, and I hope these films are a lot better than the last ones. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, we have just 4 movies left. Next week is the last episode. He's filming.
Went by so fast.
I'm shocked that I'm not as burnt out as I thought. I mean, about half of these movies were pretty good, and the other half I was like, eh.
Yeah, I about feel the same. There were some gems in here, and then some were just like, whatever.
I think the biggest one that I think everyone is curious about is the Zatoichi meets Yojimbo, because it's one of the best films of all time. Yojimbo is not not this one. And it is a night and day difference in quality, in my opinion. It's kind of shocking.
Yeah, it's a great collab movie. Not great, but I mean it's pretty interesting. But like you said, they don't use them enough or whatever. We'll get into that, but
Yeah. Let me see if I have any notes on behind the scenes stuff.
okay.
I do not. Okay, so my initial reaction on this one is that I loved it because we get Takashi Shimura, who is another Kurosawa great collaborator of his. He was in like 80% of Kurosawa's movies. He's the kind old man who plays the doctor. He is awesome. I love him. Everything he touches turns to gold. Even in his tiny parts in the Godzilla movies, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a real solid character. I'd never. This is actually the first time I've seen him on a film, but I heard you talking about him, and he's one of my favorite characters out of this film.
He's hilarious. I mean, it's just amazing because he just has that kindly persona. And I think he's another person who was born in the 1800s. Because he died, I think, in the 70s. So he was like 80.
Mm.
So, what'd you think of this movie?
I like this one. I thought it was solid, very interesting. Um, had some great scenery in it, and of course, some awesome fights.
So let's start into the, I guess, plot by plot. I'm a lot generalized now as we get to the end of the series because I'm just like, copy and pasting basically. But this one I really liked. But there's a really heavy rainstorm in the beginning of this movie, and he like stops someone. He's like, "Oh, I'm so stupid for traveling in this." And a woman is like just sitting there, like being quiet, thinking she's being sneaky, but she's not, like at all. I think she tries to steal from him. I think.
Yeah, she tries to snatch his Ryu, or what is it? They call it money.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I said it right, but Ryo, something like that.
I think it's Ryo. That's how I've been saying it.
Cool. Oh, okay.
I should probably look that one these days.
So I'm glad you're here to pronounce them because I can't. Yeah, there's a gain in this scene, like you're saying, as a scene where like Ichi says, "What a downpour! Pour! It even got in my ears." He's all losing my hearing too because the water gets in his ears or whatever from the downpour. He's all, "I'd really be finished." I thought that was interesting because he basically that's what he depends on is his hearing because you know he's a blind guy, of course, blind man. But could you imagine him losing his ears too?
to get sliced off.
I would, no one or something like that. Yeah, it'd be pretty much hopeless.
Cause there was an earlier
That's a
movie that
cool.
was really cool that played with that. Was the whole when they had all the drums come out, and I mean he still killed everyone, but that was a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting way, like technique to take him out or whatever you call it. But it still didn't work, you know. Obviously, they all got killed.
Yeah, because I think it's that same scene he's eating like super dry rice, and he just hates it, and people are sneaking up on him, and he spits it in a guy's face like right before he kills Zatoichi,
Yeah,
and then that's when the hose goes off. It's like the first time in the movie. I think they only use
get the
it for the
blood
intro, and like
splatter.
that's it, because it goes off, and
Yeah,
then we get the awesome intro credit song when he
yeah.
actually
I love that
sings.
song. That reminded me a lot of like Bruce Lee movies when you're hearing like the singing and the films, like, and it gave me that vibe for some reason.
See, I anytime that happens, I think of like a western, like Django, where it's just that one
Yeah,
song playing over and over again. I always
it
like it.
sounds
I'm
really
always like, yeah,
badass.
here we go.
Sounds badass for sure, man.
He cuts a snake in half. That was pretty awesome. Like right after that intro,
Yeah, that's a cool scene.
because the bandit
And then there's
guy,
just like this
huh?
Oh, go ahead, man. I said there's just like this random guy passing by too. It's like real weird. He's like, "You're
Yeah.
amazing." He tells him. It's out of nowhere.
Is he the guy who ends up he fights at the end?
I'm not sure. I know he's carrying like wood on his shoulders. He has like wood or something.
Huh?
He's just a real random guy. Just shows up and he's like, "That was amazing," and he just like, yeah, you know, it's just out of nowhere. Not seen.
Yeah,
I
I
don't even
mean
know
it's
who the guy
something
is.
new. I mean I'm happy it wasn't him shooting a bow or him
Yeah,
finding a dead guy. Although he does find a dead guy in this movie, so I mean, I was like, oh my gosh,
I mean,
every movie.
yeah. There's a man badly hurt, of course. Rushes him to a doctor.
Dr. Junan, he's awesome. He's
This is when
played
we get
by
the famous
Takashi
doctor
Shimura.
character.
Yep. He Satuichi's outside, I believe, and he's talking to the kid of the murdered guy, whatever. And he's like, "You watched your dad get beat up. You did nothing." And the kid's like, "What the fuck are you
Oh,
expecting
yeah.
me to do?" It's
Like
like
they're
8 years
yakuza's.
old.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah. It's just like, Zatoichi, I know you have a 200 plus kill count, but I don't.
Yeah. Like I just made it out of elementary school. Got it back. Yeah, you see Ichi like he's real lovable to the kids, but then he could be like harsh. It's funny, like you little brat. He'll tell him or something.
Oh yeah, the whole one movie where he's just like, "I will leave you," like, and the kid's like, "Fine," he
Just
just
leave.
follows him.
Yeah, that's real funny.
He gets asked to massage a guy, and one of his friends is like holding the blade like right beneath his feet as he's like stepping up, and Ichi like avoids it, which is cool.
Oh yeah,
And all those guys are like bandits and all
yeah,
like sexually assaulting everybody in the vicinity.
yeah.
And they like draw blades on him. And then the guy from earlier, I believe, a samurai. Yeah, it was a samurai who watched him cut the snake in half. I wrote that down. And he's like, "Oh my god, you
There you go.
idiots. You would have died if I didn't show up." And they're like, "Well, he's blind.
Yeah,
He
that's right. It
sucks."
was. Yeah, they're like big time, man. Like they even try to trip him, I think, in a scene, and he just like dodged. Look, you could tell those guys are up to no good.
We get an awesome boss scene right after that when Takashi Shimura and Shintaro Katsu's just drinking on screen with each other, just talking.
Yeah, that's a solid scene.
That's what's kind of crazy if you think about it. Is that from I think this movie. From this movie on, like every movie has a great actor from like Japanese cinema. And I guess in movie 22, that's the one on Swordsman. He's Chinese, but like I think from this movie
Yeah,
on, he's like, okay, we're nearing the end. Let's get some classic like great people.
yeah, I can't wait for that because I've seen the one-armed swordsman, so pretty intrigued to check that one out.
I looked it up and it is the same guy who plays him. So I know at one point we were like trying to figure it out, but we
Oh,
were
okay.
like too drunk because it was after an episode.
Yeah,
So I checked today though because I was curious.
that's good to know. I like when they bring the actors like um,
Wouldn't that be awesome if Jackie Chan like showed up?
can't
He,
stand when they change them
yeah,
out of nowhere.
I mean he was like
That'd be
active
cool, man.
during this time.
Yeah, we got Jackie Chan and then Bruce Lee, the next one.
Yeah, but he died, didn't he? Like, oh, I
Just
guess it
shows
was
up
like
as Green
76.
Hit.
He died.
Yeah, like 76. And in the earlier films, maybe.
This series ended in 73 though, so he could have done it. Why didn't he do that?
Yeah, could have showed up as a Green Hit like that.
Have a tenement, just like that one. What's it? Game of Death? No.
Enter the Dragon.
Okay, that one. Yeah.
Enter the Dragon, where they're all. That's an awesome film. Let's see. We find out the mysterious girl who tried to take Ichi's money. Her name is Oki. I don't
Owaki.
know if I said it right. Oki, Aki, something like that. But finally got her name. I was wondering what her name was.
It's Owaki.
And we Owaki. Okay. And it turns out she's actually with these. She shows up with fugitive. Got a fugitives in this film. They're real menacing. They show up at this inn. Something I have written down here.
Yeah, that's when they cut Ichi's face. I forgot to mention that. They're like cutting his face open. And being like,
Yeah.
oh, haha, we can kill you, ha ha ha. And Ichi's slowly reaching for the sword. And he has it ready, and then the samurai comes in. But, yeah, that woman is, like, so dramatic. And this is the scene where the music, like, was really obvious to me. It was, like, really loud and, like, bah, 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 and, like, really dramatic.
Yeah. Over the top. Yeah, these fugitives look real menacing, man.
Yeah, they were all, like,
And
mean
are they the
looking.
same ones that were harassing them at the end? Or in that room with them?
Let me see.
I don't know if they're the same ones that put the sword to his face, or are they different?
There's
Not sure
two
on that.
sets of them. Two sets of bandits. It's the second group that he fights. That is those people.
Oh, okay. There.
We
Now
get a
got Ichi going to meet the doctor. Is that does he meet the doctor? He already met him
he's met him.
because he ends up hiring him. He ends up hiring him at the doctor's office.
Yeah, he has a cool line that's like,
And he's a masseur's.
yeah, he's like massaging is a great compliment to medicine. I was like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you could see that happening. And then we got Ichi's running with the fugitives where they like throw a wagon at him and he slices the wheel.
Oh yeah,
Real cool scene.
but it's
I thought that was pretty dope, man.
yeah, and 'cause at one point the boss, I think, who isn't part of the fugitives, his name is Masugoro. He's like making everyone do that indentured servitude, which has showed up a few times throughout these movies. And a dad comes
Yeah.
by and he's like, "Release my daughter," and he's like, "Oh, pay for the debts." Then he's like, "You know, I have no money." Just like, and they're like,
Like
"Oh,
it's
deal
not
with it."
happening for sure. Yeah, it's yeah. Even with that wagon scene I was talking about, he gets one of the guys and like puts the handle of the wagon on his shin and just pushes him back. Thought that was real cool too.
One really
Pretty
cool
decent
thing,
fight scene, not fight
yeah,
scene, but technique.
yeah, one really cool thing that
Oh, go ahead, man.
I was kind of surprised about was he's helping the doctor's helper get like herbs, like for medicine, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you'll probably miss about half of them. It'll be like not the right thing." And she's like looking through his bag, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's all stuff that like we need." Like, how did you know? And he's like, "Oh, it's probably all messing." She's like, "No, seriously." It's like you correctly identified a
Yeah,
very specific herb.
yeah, that's his senses, man. His senses are killer. They underestimate him a lot.
There's a funny moment when he decides to go to the slave mill, is what I call it, where the indentured servitude is
Mhm.
happening. And the bandits and that boss group are like, "Why do you want to come in here?" He's like, "I heard this place was like hell. I want to see it firsthand." And they're like, "What?" Like, did you just call
Yeah,
this place like hell? And he fights them and he
just
wins.
disrespected him. Yeah,
See, there's not as much humor in these movies.
and
That's
there's
what
this
I'm
one here.
surprised about.
I know you're right, man. It's real serious. There's a one character that I want to bring up that I really hated in this film. His one's revenge on him, and he throws like those daggers, kind of those dagger weapons. And he seems to be just a piece of shit, man. He keeps harassing Ichi. I was like, I can't wait for this guy to die. Is he part of those fugitives, or he just helping him out? I didn't get that part.
I think it was the fugitives because it's at
Okay.
night, I believe, that they attack him, and the guy with the throwing dagger throws it at Ichi. He's like, "Ah, I got hit." Like he says out loud, and he falls to the ground. They're like, "Hey, we got him!" And they run away. Then he gets up, and it's
Mhm.
actually hit the hilt of his sword, and he slashes all the clothes off. And they're like, "You only
Oh
have
yeah.
one life. Get used to it." And then he throws the throwing knife at the woman, and he hits it like right at the head. But it's like there's a post between them. And it's like, oh.
Yeah,
But they still fuck with him the rest of the movie, and I'm like, come on, yo.
I still do. Especially that guy with the daggers is pissing me off. Yeah, the leader tells the guy with the daggers time when he throws it at Ichi, I can't talk here. he he tells him don't be a fool. Do you want to die instantly? It's like the leader of the fugitive gang. He's like warning the guy like, this ain't your ordinary man right here to be threatening like that.
That's what's funny is that throughout the entire movie, this samurai keeps coming and being like, "You're fucking with the wrong guy," and they're like, "Oh, we'll get him. He's blind." And it's like every
Uh-huh.
time Zatoichi just humiliates him.
One way or another, has him running butt naked through the forest or something like that.
Oh yeah, because right after that, there's a scene of samurai killing a bunch of people at an inn, and lightning is flashing, and the gang kills like a mom and dad and leaves the baby like in the middle of the woods. Like just leaves it there
Yeah,
in like a
that's fucked up.
rainstorm. It was so like, oh my gosh. But Ichi, he comes in, saves the baby. He's like, hey, idiot, deputy, who's supposed to uphold the law, I'm accusing you of this. And everyone's like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's a real fucked up part, man.
Because the killers I have down here is that they're the bandits, the fugitives. And the minion under the
Hmm.
deputy, because the deputy's pretending like he doesn't know. He's like, who did this? And he's like, oh, they're long gone now. And then not a scene later, they're walking back and they're like, what are you doing here? They're like, where's my money? We want more money. So it's like, they could have gone away with it. They left, but no.
Yeah, it's like all you have the magistrate involved with the criminals, so real crooked there. I got lost here on my notes. I'm trying to find my spot back here.
The next thing I have is that he traps the woman who keeps pretending as if she's not part of this gang. And she's like answering questions for him. And then a very awkward thing happens where he's like, you need to live a new life. And we're like, yeah, you get the morals, Zatoichi. And then he cuts her dress open and like a bunch of cleavage fall out. And I'm like, Ichi. It's just like, why did you have to do that?
He did his little perverted move there.
I was just shocked when that happened. I was like,
And
why?
he's all there. He like tells her you died now, huh? You died. Now you're born again or something like that. He's like change your life. Something like that.
Was he telling her to become a
Cause
prostitute?
she's I don't know, maybe.
By cutting
Get a
her
new profession.
midriff, her bosom.
Yeah. Use what you got there.
That's not the Ichi I know.
Yeah. And when he slices her outfit, he gives her like 5 inches more. You'd be, and she faints, just falls to the ground.
That would have been funny if she
I
hit
was
her
like,
head and then died. And like Ichi killed an innocent. I want to see a movie about that. Accidentally cut murders an innocent. Even though that was in movie 2, if I remember right.
yeah,
When he visits that
he'd go to the
grave.
Saki hard for sure, man. After that,
He can go meet with his maybe father, who ratted him out.
yeah. He's all, you are my father. Oh, no, you're not. Are you?
That's the question. We never get an answer.
No.
But at one point, he,
Yeah, I got where.
huh?
Oh, go ahead. I think I fast forward much here, so go ahead.
Oh, I'm probably the one fast forwarding. But, we have the showdown between the samurai and Ichi. And someone, like, has a pistol or a rifle. And, like, shoots at Ichi. He avoids it. And then he doesn't avoid the second shot, but he jumps into, like, a dirty pond. Like, swims away. And then uses Saki to clean the wound and then dig the bullet out with his finger. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, that's so
Yeah,
clean to do. You don't do that. Don't jump in a dirty
he
pond.
turned like Rambo, pretty much.
I guess it didn't get infected. I
That's the
mean,
most beat up I've seen Ikari.
yeah, like that's what's
He
crazy.
was real brutalized and
Because as he's healing,
yeah, and then he collapses.
like yeah, and like the bandits take the doctor and his daughter while Ichi is like passed out in a coma. And we're like, oh no, he's gonna die. Like
Yeah, And he tells him, like the doctor even says, "You didn't come to me, man. You're too stubborn." He pretty much like telling him. Instead, he was trying to like help himself out, and he could have died.
There's the next thing I
Mm.
have.
And we got some more cool music.
Huh? Want a delay, sorry.
I said, then we hear some cool music.
Yeah, because he disappears. Someone goes to like ask Ichi to like help out, and he's gone. And we're like, oh my gosh, where'd he go? And the next shot is like he's like talking, like while this music is playing, and then he starts singing. He's like, being a blind man's hard. I gotta fight for what's right. And then he starts singing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. And then they have that girl. What's her name? Ochiza or Ochi, something like that.
Owaki?
Yeah, capture the girl and they have her like naked. They're stripping her. Both trying to pretty much, sexually assault her. And then Ichi like walks in
Oh
to
yeah.
save the day.
Yeah, there's a lot of like nudity in this segment. Each movie is
Yeah,
like just full nipples and like breasts, and I was like, oh, it's supposed to be
yeah.
family movies with like some edge and like danger, but now we're straight like adult movies.
With several rape attempts. No, well that one was.
Yeah, throughout all these movies, there's at least one attempt. Like that's what's shocking.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's a cool line between the boss, the villain, and Ichi. He goes, tell he pops, come back from hell to get you.
Yeah, that was an awesome
Something
line.
like that. I thought that was a real badass
Zatoichi
line.
doesn't counter that line either. He's like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I come back to get you. And I was like, oh man, this is badass, man.
Can we get? It's kind of like the last Lone Wolf and Cub movie where he's fighting like zombies and ghosts. Can we get a movie of Ichi in hell for the 400 people he's killed, and he fights his way out of hell? The seven, kind of like Dante's Inferno. Oh my gosh, I would kill
Hell
for that.
yeah, yeah. And then he comes out with like red eyes. Ichi, he's blind. His eyes are
Yeah,
just like
the
red.
whole movie he has his eyes closed, and he goes to
Um,
fight Satan because this is an
yeah,
80s movie at this point. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you, and he
mhm.
opens his eyes and it's fire. It's like be like the guy from
It's
X-Men.
fine. Yeah, yeah. It was Cyclops
Yeah, I was trying to think of his name.
or which one? Yeah, something like that. He shoots Ray's eyes. Ichi.
That's the guy I
Oh
meant.
no.
The Ray Eye guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
Ichi with these badass goggles on.
no, have it be a bandage, just like what he has for his underclothes.
Yeah, samurai style.
Okay, now I want to see that.
Yeah, but
Fuck. Damn it.
now I have it that Ichi kills the flying blade scumbag. I wrote it down because I was just waiting for it.
Nice. See, I have here that he shows up to the house
And
where all the bandits are. And he fucks them up. That's all I
yeah.
wrote.
I wrote down he killed the flying blade scumbag is what I wrote in my exact notes.
Because after that, because that's the place
Oh, and
they're being
also
stripped, right? The woman is. Because I have here that he went to another house to kill
yeah, that's
off
the place.
the fugitives. And I said it's bloody and fun. And he cuts, like, people's arms off, and, like, it's awesome.
Yeah, and we find out we found out earlier, but that the main feud is actually the doctor's son.
Oh, yeah. Why did I not write
He
that?
disowned him.
I swear I wrote that down.
I wrote it late. It was way earlier in the movie. But I guess the doctor disowned him because he was like troublesome or something like that.
I'm, like, sitting here.
And
Because I remember writing it down, but...
I wrote it down at the end. This happened like earlier, where he's visiting the sister's like, oh, brother, or whatever, and he's like, he's part of the family no more. I don't know what he tells him. So that,
Oh yeah, there's a part earlier in the movie where he's attacked in the bamboo forest by the fugitives, and we have the loudest drums ever in the music. It was so obnoxious. Like, I don't know what they did, but they like turned up that
Yeah.
volume really high.
I think you're
Is
like in a parade or something.
is there a gambling scene in this movie?
I don't have one written down. That would be amazing. There's always a gambling scene.
Wow, man. What a shame.
I don't think there's a gambling scene in this film.
Shocking. That's like always the best part.
Is this the only one, a gambling scene?
I think so.
I don't know. Interesting point there.
I was saying that, I was like, wait, we don't have a gambling scene. Oh, okay.
And all I have in my notes here is Ichi leaves with awesome music. That's all I have in my notes to end it.
I have that he fights Bandit Group and cuts arms off and fights Final Samurai. I don't know how the fight went, but I assume he survived. So.
Yeah. I just have teams with awesome music. That's like my ending sentence.
So I guess we should go on to the next one.
So,
So this one is Zatoichi 19, Samaritan Zatoichi 1968. Just to throw it in there, the last movie was also 68, so I think he made 2 movies that year and took a break, actually. Took 2 years for him to make Yojimbo,
okay.
and that effort did not pay off, in my opinion.
Nah.
Oh well. But my initial reaction was that I really liked this. I was not really bored ever during this movie. It was good.
I like this one too. I thought it was pretty interesting.
One thing that's surprising is that, because this is also directed by Kenji Misumi, who did Lone Wolf and Cub. Every time his name pops up as the director, I'm like, okay, good. It's going to be good. It's going to be a great movie. And that's very true, because 21 was also made by him. And unfortunately, that's his last movie he did.
Man.
So the next 4 movies, it's a wild card.
Flip a coin.
And then Zatoichi slices
Yeah,
the
this
coin.
this film. There you go. Yeah, this film opens up with Zatoichi and kids talking. I hear the kids warn Zatoichi of a deep part in the water. He doesn't listen and falls in. That's what I have written down.
Is there? I don't have that here. Oh, I see it now. Okay.
No.
Because the first part is him, the kids are trying to catch a bird. And he's like, hey, get some sake and soak the nuts in it. They'll love it. They'll get drunk. And the birds will fall over and you can kill them. And I'm like, Ichi. That is so weird.
Yeah, I missed that part, man. I don't have that one.
Because after that, I have that he put in.
That's what I mean,
Fell
man.
into water.
That's a funny scene. That's what I mean. He could be like so like lovable to kids, and then all of a sudden he's just all mean to. It's funny.
Go get some sake from your drunk parents. kill some crows.
While they're passed out, still it.
I don't get that. Crows are like, there's a reason why you don't eat dead or roadkill, because it's like disgusting. There's no meat on them. It's not good meat.
Yeah.
It's always like diseased to meat. Like, I mean, I guess in the 1800s they didn't know that, but
Yeah. Fried crow's wings for dinner.
throw up.
Yeah, that doesn't seem good at all. I don't think it passed the inspection. The health inspectors nowadays.
I don't know who this is, but I wrote down that we see somebody who owes Yakuza the money, and they kill like 4 guys. Oh, okay, I remember what this movie is. Okay, yeah. So, I forget. I was hoping it would spur my memory.
That's how I am.
It finally did. But Zatoichi is hired by that boss to get money from the guy who fought off the four guys, and Zatoichi, another guy who I didn't write the name of. They show up with a couple of the gangsters, and like the sister shows up with the money right after they kill the brother.
Oh yeah.
It's like a really emotional. I don't know what they're doing. They're like trying to enslave her, like because she gives
Yeah.
them the money, and it's like
One of them's trying to sexually assault her.
yeah, it's like really awkward, and Ichi's just like
He's like,
standing
take
there.
your clothes off or something. Yeah.
It's also winter, so it's like really cold. Like
Yeah, I was
snow
like,
is
that wouldn't be
falling.
a good idea.
Get frostbite. Breasts will fall off
Yeah.
because that's how
Yeah,
it
it's
works.
like
I don't know.
might have your shit turned to icicle.
Oh, that'd be a great slasher movie. A woman gets sexually assaulted
Yeah.
out in the snows, and her breasts turn into icicles, and she kills people. Hey, I'd pay for
Start
that.
slicing them.
I'd fund a movie like that.
He's like,
Must be directed by Dario
maybe like
Argento.
a titty slasher movie. Yeah. Gotta have that gore, for sure.
That'd be a great slasher. No one take that idea. I
The,
trademark.
the swinging titty slasher.
Versus masturbating gunman.
The swinging titty slasher film.
Unfortunately, we don't get that. Instead, we get her just crying.
And it's funny because
Huh?
it's funny because like when they go in the house, those guys that eat with that gang or whatever, they come out all beat up, and he's like, he's almost be decided and he laughs at them.
Yeah, that's what's funny is that he's
Like he's getting his revenge, you know.
yeah, because he wasn't told
He's
about
getting
the
his revenge
sister.
for them making fun of his.
We're on major delay right now.
Yeah, he wasn't. I know my thing is Dane too.
But what's funny about the scene is that the entire time he and the other hired hand, who's like cool and like pretty goofy, he's like funny. Um, they were not told about the sister, so they were pissed. Like by that, because Ichi steps in, and there's one guy who keeps calling him blind bastard, which we all know. Like you don't call Ichi that; he will cut your face off very slowly. Like if you call him that. And there's a really cool shot where he's walking away, and the camera is like leaning like 90 degrees, and as Ichi passes the camera, it like goes up like normally. And he shows up to the boss's house, and he's like, "Hey, asshole, give me back my money," or something. And kills like a bunch of people, and kills the guy who calls him blind bastard, which I liked. So
Doesn't he like slice some fingers off too?
oh
Slice the
yeah,
guy's fingers.
the guy
that
holds
another-
his hands up, and it's like the worst makeup job ever. But like the idea of it is like scary.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to
Just
pick
see
up a
fingers
sword
fly,
again,
just
I
fall.
think he says.
Yeah. I mean, again, I have to deal with calling him blind bastard. He hates that.
Another reason I don't like number 20, there's a scene where Toshiro Mifune says that 20 times, and it like lost its effect. He's like, blind bastard, blind bastard, blind
Yeah.
bastard. Like 30 times, and I'm like, oh my gosh. You're overplaying it. That's the
Yeah, that
entire
film-
movie, is them overplaying all these tropes.
Yeah, I was getting annoyed with that too.
Did you write down how awesome the song was? And he says, most people who kill sees the world as black. For me, it was black to begin with. And then you start singing.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I got that written down, but that was great, man.
I had to write that down. I said, like, I was like actually sitting, like watching this movie, and I had to get up, go to my computer, and write that down because I thought that was so awesome.
Yeah, that's a great scene right there. Great quote from the film.
It wasn't him saying the darkness is my advantage, which it seems like he says every movie.
He
He says
changed
it
it
in
up a
this
little
one, I
bit. That's all
think.
to change it up.
I'm trying to look.
Does it?
I know he says it in the next one, but
Yeah. Well, same we find out her name's Osode,
Osode, yeah.
Osode, and like she's itchy, and she freaks out because he like knows she's in there. She hasn't even told him, and he's like talks to her. She's like, "How did you know I was in this room?" And he
I
just
can
smiles.
smell you.
Yeah, that's what he does a lot. He smells so sweet. Tastes like peaches. Oh no, that's a later film.
Or plums if you want an earlier film. Way back then.
There you go. There you go.
But she says she doesn't hate Ichi for killing her brother. And not 2 minutes later, she tries to kill Ichi for killing her brother. I don't know what her
Yeah,
plan was, but
it's in his sleep too, huh?
yeah, he's like
Wasn't he
asleep.
like sleeping? Yeah,
That was a really pathetic attempt, though. It was so obvious she wasn't gonna
yeah, it
actually
was.
stab the actor because it was probably a real knife. And she's like, "Whoa!" and like hits the wall or something.
Actually, like going to the floor before she could even pick it up. She's already like down to the floor.
Tripped over her knees because she was already sitting. She's like, oh, just like
Probably, probably could have stabbed herself more than Ichi.
apparently she has a fever or something. No, that came out
Yeah, I have
later.
that written down. She has a fever. I actually have that written down. She does have a fever.
There's a really cool part before we get to them trying to kill each other, where she doesn't want to travel with Ichi, but Ichi is like following her, and she keeps running into all these bandits and like gang members, and he keeps getting her out, and the samurai backs off, and is like, "Oh, I'm not gonna fuck with him. That looks like Zatoichi, who has been in 18 other films at this point. I'm not gonna fuck with him." And the gang is like, "Hey, here's 1,000
Yeah.
Ryo." I looked it up as Ryo, like Ryan, but Ryo. And
Okay,
he's like,
Ryo.
"Okay, sure, a
Ryo.
thousand, I'll do it."
This tells you how money rules everything. But anyways, Ichi is caught cheating on gambling in this film.
When does that?
I was in shock. Where they're playing he has his own dice
Oh yeah, he
and he
gets
rolls them
wrapped up
out and it has the magnet
in like the reed bed or whatever.
in the
Traps.
sticks, like the stick things. Yeah, and they're taking him to like a river to throw him in there. But then those guys that are after him make a deal with him, say, "Well, give him stuff if they give him back to him." So those guys just like get paid and give him back to those bandits.
And then the
It's just like
samurai
a trade.
throws him his sword back, and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" Runs away, and Ichi is like, "This is a really good stick." It's like not his sword.
Yeah, it's actually a stick.
I'm sure he's deadly with that, anyways. Doesn't matter.
Got that lightning speed.
I do want to throw out that we accidentally skipped the carnival scene, which was fun, where he's like throwing balls at
Uh-huh.
like the hats that like fall off or whatever. That
Oh
cheat of the
yeah,
game
yeah,
where they usually nail the hat to the target and it never falls. But like Ichi gets every single
yeah,
one
yeah.
and gets a package, and he's like, "No, I don't want it," and I'm like, "Grab it. It probably costs a lot."
He's like hitting every target. He's even throwing like sideways. He's just like sideways throwing it, hitting it.
It's great editing, by the way, because
And they're
right
like,
when
look,
he throws it, you see it fall and then throw it fall. It doesn't matter what he's actually doing, like IRL, but
yeah. Those targets are falling no matter what. Had it written down. I don't know. I didn't catch it.
He sews Asode's kimono back while she's like passed out. That was cool. I can't even sew with my eyes open. And he's doing it in the dock.
The darkness is his world.
The darkness is my advantage. Yeah, we know, Ichi. Okay, you say it every movie.
I've heard it. But they get a Usode stuck. They get her to a send her to a brothel to go work again.
Oh yeah, she shows up to her aunt's house.
I don't know about the names. I'm trying.
And she's like, I'm gonna become a prostitute again. And her aunt was like, why'd you even come back? And so she gets taken. And I don't know what the aunt's like restaurant name is, but it was like Sweet Bean Jelly or like Sweet Jelly Bean or like something. It was something weird. It was like up for like half a second on like the subtitles.
I didn't catch that. Curious.
I was like, that's weird. It's like the one attempt at humor in this movie.
Stay away from the jelly beans.
Gonna grab Asode's jelly beans.
There you go.
Ew.
Nice and moistured. Oh no.
It's soaked in sake to lay all their
Never mind.
clothes.
Ichi would slice them in half.
Oh, before...
Oh, wrong movie.
Wait. Oh, yeah. Okay, so after she gets taken by the brothel owners, the gang takes her again, and she's like riding away on a palanquin, and Ichi has to steal a horse, and he's like blindly just sprinting on the horse. He falls off a cliff.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I thought that was real. Not very smart, but you know, he was an inspiration, so.
That's an excuse.
And he shows up to fight a lot. Yeah, exactly. I said I have a part here where he fights a lot of the magistrate guys in a dark setting. Is that a little too much fast forward?
Oh, is that when they're using the like flashlights and it's like cool?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And he's like in the dark, you know, Ichi comes out of the dark. And I don't have too much notes anymore here.
Oh yeah, that's like later. Okay, I'm gonna fill in the holes.
Yeah, I think I think I fast forward too much.
Yeah, there's like little stuff that was missed, but after he falls off a cliff, because we needed to get him out of the movie for like 5 minutes, the samurai shows up and like finds Asode in the like weird cabin just in the bottom of a valley. Every time it rains, I guess it floods. It's a really awful place to put a house. But like he captures her and is like, you're gonna be my sex slave. He says something weird like that. And like a bunch of the magistrate people show up and they're like, give us the woman. We own her now. And he's like, no, I do. She's mine. And they fight and she just leaves. Just leaves out the back. Like kicks a hole in the wall and just leaves.
Heads out. Like, go ahead and kill each other. I'm out of here.
Yeah, and shockingly, they're like, oh no, she left. How'd she get out? That Ichi. And Ichi is like on the bottom of a fucking valley, just like passed out because he just like fell down a whole fucking cliff. And I can't believe I did not write down his friend's name. Oh, Kensuke. Okay, yeah. He's the guy who everyone... No, that's not Kensuke. That's someone else. Oh my gosh. It's a guy who also got hired to help kill the brother in the early film.
He's like his sidekick. Is he the goofy one? He's not goofy, right?
Yeah, he's a little goofy. That's the only like
There's
character
one that's
trait
like
he
goofy.
has.
Yeah, and he's like protecting her, like the at first, huh? Or Ichi has her like guarding him, has him guarding her.
Yeah, because she goes to the brothel finally, and the guy there. No, I'm trying to think. Who is Kumakichi or Kamakichi?
Comic.
He's one of the bosses. Oh, he's the guy who kills the other boss and then kills the Seven girl. And Ichi and funny sidekick show up, and they're framed for the murder. Okay, yeah, that's Kumakichi. And
Yeah.
so they have to clear the name, and they kill like everybody ever because that's what they do.
I got
And
lost there. Glad you had that.
it's pretty significant. It was like one of the bosses, and he takes ownership of the game,
Yeah.
and it's like kill Ichi. He killed the boss, and Ichi shows up and it's like, no, actually you did, and like kills like half his men, and then makes him admit that he killed the boss himself. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Man, I missed a lot in this one. I must have wrote these notes. They're like real out of order.
Well, after he does that, he saves Asode by pretending to be Kumakichi because they have him like in a palanquin or
I have
something.
drum noises affect Ichi.
When is that? I'm trying.
I'm like off on these notes right now.
But the funny part is that Ichi and his funny sidekick like dress up in the like reed dress, which is like what he was like stolen in after cheating. And he's like, oh, he's like hopping around or something. Well,
Yeah.
no, earlier he's in the reed dress and everyone's like, yeah, we got Ichi, we're gonna kill him. And he like stands up in the like reed dress or whatever. And he starts killing people while wrapped up. It looks so goofy.
Yeah.
And later he does that again.
Yeah. Man, I missed a lot of notes here.
I didn't even write that down. I just remembered. Because I was like, oh yeah, like that was a really goofy moment. But they're like trying to get past this
I remember it,
checkpoint.
man.
And Ichi is like, he just has no clothes
I
on.
could picture
Like,
it, but
yeah. Ichi shows up with like no clothes. And it's like, hey, like, I was getting freaky with a woman. Like, I don't have my clothes. Sorry. And he's like, oh, get out of here. Get out of here. So he gets by. And then the sidekick comes up and he's like, oh, no. My clothes got stolen. I was getting really freaky with someone. They're like, ah, you disgusting pervert. And they wave him on. And Ichi and the sidekick are just laughing their heads off. Like that they just like fooled like 30 people at this checkpoint.
that's where you get that humor.
The only humor in that movie. Fuck.
They're still on.
Yeah, I don't think I wrote those down on the notes, man. I missed a lot here.
Oh yeah, he
And
goes to
I just
the-
have like the ending. That's it on my notes.
Yeah. So I can just
I must have really skipped. I hope I didn't fall asleep.
it was a good movie, so you better
I
not.
said I hope I didn't fall asleep.
But so after they escape the checkpoint, that's when he
I don't
finds
think
out
I did,
that,
but I must have not wrote some notes.
yeah, he finds out that Asode is at the brothel, so he pretends to be Kumakichi, and it ends up being Ichi, and he's like, I want Asode. I heard she's the hottest brothel prostitute you have. And Asode is like, oh god, I don't want to talk to Kumakichi. He's that asshole. And she shows up and, oh no, it's Ichi, haha. And they escape through the skylight, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And that's when we get the lantern scene that you talked about. And he says his favorite line, "The dark is my advantage." After cutting all the lanterns, and it's like, okay.
When you got said throughout all the films.
Like, literally, it's like every movie.
Not this again. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I get when you guys say it's repetitive. You guys were telling me about this series. I see it a lot. Very repetitive.
I think it was not the last episode, I
I don't
guess.
know if
Not, I guess the one that
I
came
don't have
out
too much
today,
more on my
yesterday.
notes here.
Was it the one yesterday that came out that we were both just like on rants and like tangents for like 75% of the runtime?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Oh, those were the worst movies. Like, these
Yeah.
ones are just okay.
Yeah, that one, man, that one kept me at the edge of my feet, man. Uh-huh. Oh, the last series?
The last
that
segment.
That was bad. Oh, the last segment, yeah.
But
Yeah.
just to finish out here.
I don't have too
this
much on
movie.
my notes if you have anything else there.
Yeah,
man.
I got a few more. So that one samurai that keeps showing up for no reason at all. He does like nothing. He's the leader of the fugitives, I guess. And no, he's not. That's a whole different movie. He's just a random samurai who's just there. And they're like, "Hey, we're in Suwa. Like, we're gonna go fight now." And Zatoichi's like, "Why? Like, we don't even know you. You don't even come to the school. Like, who are you?" And so they fight, and Zatoichi's clothes get cut a lot. It's like weird. And Zatoichi wins. I mean, of course. And then we get a really weird scene where Asode is being like kidnapped
Yeah.
while Zatoichi is like down the street. And she's like, Ichi, oh my god, I'm gonna get kidnapped by these brothel people. And then the bag of money she has breaks open, they take it. And she's like, what the fuck? Ichi, where were you? And she looks around, Ichi's gone. And then the end! Like the little ending caption shows up. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what a bizarre ending. Our main woman love
Yeah, just
interest
out of
getting
nowhere.
kidnapped. And then, like...
There's like these weird drum noises.
Yeah, it's like so bizarre. But let me do some background on this movie about Toshiro Mifune and all that. So,
Okay.
this is movie 20. We're at the golden... This is when I started getting interest in the series again after my burnout. My first one through. Zatoichi Metsuo Shimbo, 1970. This was... I should have looked it up, but... the movie Redbeard, that was the final Kurosawa Toshiro Mifune collaboration. They hated each other after making that movie. It was a 3-year production or something insane, where like they kept losing money, and in the contract for Toshiro Mifune, Kurosawa was like, "Yeah, you can't shave your beard because you're supposed to be a impoverished doctor who's like, you know, helping the poor, and you're getting no funding. So you have to look the role." And so for like 3 years, Toshiro Mifune had the shittiest, scratchiest beard for this movie. And it's a great movie. It's one of my favorites by Kurosawa. But like, you could tell as the movie went on how much Toshiro Mifune hated being in this movie. Because it was like shoot like once a month for like 3 years. Like, it was so grueling. But the movie that this movie's named off of, his character Yoshimbo, is one of the classic samurai films of all time. It's my favorite. I've seen it a bunch of times. Fistful of Dollars, with Clint Eastwood is a direct remake of Yoshinbo. I mean, literally shot for shot. Like, it's a great double feature. Watch
Wow.
Yoshinbo and then Fistful of Dollars, and you will see how,
Wow.
like, just copying it was. But, fun fact, Akira Kurosawa was good friends with Francis Ford Coppola or whoever made those movies. So, it worked out. He wasn't too
Hmm.
pissed about
Yeah.
taking Yoshinbo and turning it into a cowboy western film. So, because it was kind of dying by that point. And after 1970, when this movie came out, spaghetti westerns showed up and Clint Eastwood showed up. So, it's really interesting in terms of like film history where this movie situates. Because
Yeah.
it's not a good movie. I'll just say that now. I did not like this movie at all. But it's a
Yeah.
good transition point between the samurai genre of the 50s and 60s into the spaghetti westerns. And it's like,
Mhm.
pew, combines the two. But this may not come as a shock, but this movie was the beginning point of this series, where the rest of the movies was produced by Shintaro Katsu's production company, and it was like every other movie, like last segment, where it was produced by Katsu Productions, but after this movie, it's all Katsu Productions. So Zatoichi had a lot of control after this, or
Yeah.
in this movie and after. So, um, if you're wondering, the character that Toshiro Mifune plays has nothing to do with Yoshinbo at all. Totally different background, totally different, like just everything. The names aren't even the same. His name is like Sasa or something like that in this movie. And like there's nothing relating to Yoshinbo, the character. So they use that name because everybody knows Yoshinbo as like a classic film. So Shintaro Katsu kind of, took that name and was like, hey, it's like the Django movies, the 50 like Django sequels that there are, where there's like 48 different actors playing Django, like from movie to movie. So, yeah. That's all I got for behind the scenes.
That's pretty interesting right there. Because I do see similarities between like Fistful of Dollars and this film. It is like kind of like Western style.
Well, the movie
And
Yoshinbo, not this Zatoichi meets Yoshinbo. The
oh, okay. Because
original
this one I
from
got a lot of this.
56, I think.
This one I got some like Western vibes out of it. But
Well, in October,
yeah,
you
it's
have the flash sale. Get some Kurosawa films.
yeah,
And House. You must
yeah.
get House. And David Lynch. And a
I'm
million
gonna
others.
look at that for sure, man. But yeah, that's crazy that how you said that he has nothing to do with the character and it's on the title. That's what I was gonna ask you, but you explained everything there.
Yeah,
So
he wanted more money from people buying tickets. And it should be noted, there was a 2-year break between this movie and the last Zatoichi movie. I don't know why that
mm,
happened. I should have looked it up, but it didn't help in terms of quality. I guess he did not recharge because he was
yeah,
making 2 or 3 movies a year for like the last like 5 years.
yeah, this movie was a mess, but I did enjoy some parts of it. I'm not gonna lie, it did have a charm to it. But other than that, it's not that great.
Well, the intro is really good when it's like really dramatic and there's torrential downpours. And there's kids crying and people are chasing Zatoichi. He's like killing people and
Hmm.
he has a whole monologue about being done with hell. And then his sword breaks and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
no! That blacksmith worked so hard on that fucking sword and it broke 4 movies later. I'm like, come on. So I was a little sad for that guy. He
and I
died
actually got a
making that
quote.
sword.
I actually got a quote from that scene
Ooh.
from Ichi where he says, "I got blood on my hands again. I'm done with hell. I can feel the gusts blowing through my body."
Ooh.
and he's like under a little area. I thought that was like an awesome quote,
Yeah.
and I was like,
That's a way better way to do it than being
it
like,
is him.
I've killed people that I complained about last
Yeah,
episode.
yeah,
That was a way better way to handle the guilt
yeah.
of
It's
his 400 people death count that whatever he has.
yeah. He's like, he's already claiming I'm going to hell.
As I said, they need to make a movie where he fights his way out of hell.
Yeah, comes
That'd
out
be
with the demon
awesome.
eyes,
There's
man.
setup in every single movie about his guilt. Like, be like, have Satan show up, played by John DeHart because he's still alive, and be like, "You bastard, you killed so many people." I want elderly John DeHart to play Satan, because why not? And then
He has the
Shintaro
eyes.
Katsu is
Just
made
have him
by
sing that song.
Come on, see, baby, let's do the shimmy slide.
His freaking eyes were creepy in that scene, bro. He's like way off. His eyes are open, like
And my heart's on fire when I grab you by the hand. He looks like a deer in the headlights. That's exactly how he looks.
yeah, exactly.
And don't even get me started of the. Did you look at the facial expressions of the band playing that song?
I did it, and my full focus was on John DeHart, man.
Oh my god, they were about to crack up multiple times doing this, like playing it, because they weren't like. It wasn't like they press like play on like the soundtrack and they started playing. They pretended to play.
Mhm.
No, they were actually playing the song, and so like they had to focus on it, and they were like playing a simple country song. And then, like, every now and then the bassist or the drummer would look at another, band member and kind of smile, and they go back to playing. Like, if you pay attention, like, really hard to just them, as much as John DeHart is, like, a black hole of
Yeah,
attention, of, like, everything gets sucked back to him. It's
yeah.
hilarious.
I'm gonna have to pay attention to that scene.
Just go watch it. Right now.
Yeah.
I would if
Oh
my
man,
plastic wasn't
that's comedy
slowly
gold.
peeling away.
Oh man,
I'd watch
I
it
gotta
every
check
day.
mine actually. Man, I cracked up on that scene when Wing Hauser is slapping guys on the floor. He's not even punching them; he's just slapping them.
Oh, in the arcade or whatever.
I'm like, oh man. Yeah, he's just like they're in that bar fight after that song, and Wings Hauser he just like slaps the shit out of him and then pours a Corona on him.
You killed the only woman I ever loved, and it's payback time. She was a full-grown bass. Awkwardly punches at John something. He just died. Like, what's his name?
Oh yeah, William Smith.
Yeah, William Smith. He's like, you're a grown bone bass.
Yeah,
He's like, huh. The
that guy
worst
always
punching
plays
I've
a good
ever
villain.
seen.
Oh man, it's Wings Hauser's gold, man, to me.
Did you listen to the 1 hour interview with John DeHart that was on that release?
I didn't.
That man is insane.
I need to.
He should be in an asylum.
I need to see that.
The shining
Yeah,
highlight for me.
he was awesome, man.
Yeah, I watched that immediately. I didn't even watch the movies. I was like, I'm watching this now. Like, this is a new featurette. Like, we haven't heard from this guy since the movie came out. Like, I'm gonna watch this now. And I watched it, and he was like, yeah, this movie is just really popular in my neighborhood and wherever he lives, Las Vegas, maybe. And he's like, yeah, a little boy of color went up to me and sang me the entirety of Shimmy Slide. I'm like, I don't believe you at all. Like, what
Where's the video
fuck
footage
are you
of that?
talking about? That guy is on something. I don't know what it is, but I want to be on it.
Yeah, you need to watch L.A. Bounty, man, with Wingshauser, where he's a villain.
Is he blackout drunk the entire time?
It's
Did they
funny because
pay
he's
him in
like a master
alcohol?
villain, but then I would say so. And then he's like, he's a villain, but then he's an artist. He's like always painting. And it's funny because they show the painting, it's like a stick figure. When you draw the stick
It's
figures, he's all,
actually
my
Wingshausen
artwork
drawing, and
is
that's all he can
fabulous.
do.
And you look at it, it's like some kindergartner would draw.
Have you seen Driller Killer? That's the entire story for that movie.
It's
He's a painter.
it's Wingshauser drawing, probably drunk, dude. Yeah, I have.
It's so bad. I cannot stand
What'd you think of that one?
I can't stand Driller Killer. I really tried. But again, there's so much potential.
I'm actually a fan of it, but I've heard people don't like it very much.
So, Zatoichi 20.
Yes. Okay, back to that.
The most missed opportunity film of all time.
Yeah,
Because Zatoichi really
definitely had potential.
amazing, yeah, really amazing character. Yoshimbo, classic, like figure of 1950s samurai genre. Zatoichi meets Yoshimbo, most disappointing fucking movie ever.
So I gotta ask you: Is Yojimbo, or I can't say the word, but is he? Do they call him Beast in the film? Is he the one they call Beast?
Oh, in that movie, yeah, in this movie,
No.
in Yoshimbo, he is
In this movie, they call him Beast, right?
yeah, in Yoshimbo, he is man with no name, so that's why the Clint Eastwood character is man with no name.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, okay.
it's
'Cause
disappointing.
I love that when they call each other Monster and Beast. I like that part.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's good in this movie. I really like the first like 30 minutes of this movie, but it's around the
Yeah.
time when he says "sensei" for the third time that I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah. That was annoying.
There's a really cool moment where he's walking into the village that he, I guess, lived at when he was a kid. And he's like, I smell the plum blossoms. I hear the stream running. I hear the spring breeze. Every time he says one of those sentences, it shows a shot of the plums, or the stream, or trees rustling from the wind. And it's like really cool. I really like that.
Yeah, that's always good. I like scenery like that too. You gotta have that great atmosphere in the film.
And he goes to like an old
But
man named Tomei, who makes statues at the edge of town, which is very cowboy like stuff. Like there's always that guy who makes the coffins or the statues honoring the dead and like all this stuff. And as he arrives to town, everyone's like, "Oh boy!" and they close the shutters, as he arrives. And he's like, he talks to somebody. He's like, "I want to go to the bathhouse. I am in need of relaxation." And they're like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And the next shot is him standing naked in the bathhouse, and it's just utter chaos. Like everyone's screaming,
yeah,
everyone's like punching each other in the face. Like it's so funny.
Right. That's not gonna be a comfortable bath right there.
He looks so pissed off like that entire time.
Yeah, I got out of this film a lot of Western feel to it.
Especially the headsman who was originally in charge of the town. Hayawoku, I believe is how you say his name.
Yeah,
He's making coffins now, and Zatoichi learns that detail of him being like a depressed old man now from a like really shitty Masua, where Zatoichi is like, "What are you? Like, you're not even a Masura. What are you doing to me? You're just touching me. Like, let me show you what true Masuing is. And a bunch of really
Yeah.
cool gang members come in with like arm tattoos. And they're like, yo, Toshiro Mifune, like, there's a blind Masura in town who is way better at massaging than our own Masura. And I'm like, is this the intro to legendary actor Toshiro Mifune? Like, is him on a bed drunk and yelling
Yeah.
at people?
And he is drunk in the film, huh?
Like, constantly. He's always drunk. And, like, that's what I want to hear from you if you ever watch Yojimbo. I want you to compare, quote unquote, Yojimbo in this movie and the real one from the Kurosawa classic
Oh, I
film we
bet.
got as one of the best films of all time. Like, I want to see your reaction
I
to
bet you
that.
that's night and day better.
Oh my gosh. I rewatch it regularly. Like, it's just so good.
Yeah, he comes drunk and he wants to kill Ichi for 100 Ryu or what is it?
Yep, you had it.
100
Ryu.
Ryu.
Like Ryan, but Ryu.
They have a yeah. They so he's I need my 100 Ryu, so I'm gonna kill you. He tells him he's like all drunk, stumbling. You're like, are you really gonna challenge Ichi while you're drunk like that? Not a good idea.
Here's a secret. Zatoichi sucks in this movie. He can't kill anybody this entire fucking movie. And I think that's what pissed me off the most. Is that he's like hitting himself in the face
Yeah.
with like boulders that he's like flinging around. And then the moment when he
That's funny.
one of my favorite moments in this movie is early on when Toshiro Mifune is like, hey, blind man. Oh, excuse me. He's like, hey, blind man, I'm gonna kill you now and claim your bounty. And they fight. You know, it's cool. You know, whatever. And then Zatoichi gets stabbed.
Mhm.
Oh my god, Zatoichi is screaming. He is freaking the fuck out. He's like, ah! Just like screaming. And then it zooms out and he like pushes the sword away, like with his hand, and he's like, you should be more careful with your sword. It's probably my favorite moment.
Yeah, I actually thought he got stabbed.
Same here. I was like, holy shit, I don't remember this. It was awesome.
And he has the case there. It's like that was a cool scene, man.
And that's when the movie started going downhill. From then on.
And then they go drunk. They go get drunk afterwards. He's like, let's go get a drink.
Yeah, they weren't even villains the whole time. Like,
They kind of like team up in this movie, but then they want to kill each other. It's weird.
but we don't see that. They say they want to, but we don't see any competition. I don't
No,
know
you don't.
what the process was making this movie. But I can't wait because I think I'm going to watch the supplements after I finish the final movie and just kind of see like if we learn anything.
Yeah, maybe.
Because my god.
We'll catch some hidden stuff in there that we don't know. Yeah, and then we get introduced to Umeno,
Yeah.
and I don't know, Ichi knew her parents, and she's also a crook.
Yeah, because Toshiro Mifune is her bodyguard. Because she keeps yelling at him like, hey, bodyguard.
Yeah, because he actually wants to sleep with her, but he's dead broke. She's like, if you have money, you can, but otherwise, don't get near me. Pretty much.
Oh, there's that really
We
shitty
turn-
Masua. He is pretending to be blind. And when Toshiro Mifune and the bandits attack Zatoichi and the fake blind guy, he dies. And Ichi is blamed for his death. And so the guardsmen show up and they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, Ichi, answer for your crimes, idiot." He's like, "Oh, okay," because he's incompetent this entire fucking movie, and I hate it. And he shows up and he's like, you know, he says something. He bends down and like takes his like handkerchief and like wraps a rock into it and starts hitting people in the head and being like awesome. And he hits himself in the head. And I'm like, why? He would never do that ever. And he passes out and he's in jail.
I was laughing at that scene, but I know what you're saying. How he's incompetent. It's like it makes him look like Goofy. Like I don't know. It's not him.
Yeah, it seemed like to try and show how awesome Toshiro Mifune was, he completely destroyed the skill of Zatoichi to show how badass Toshiro Mifune is.
I could see that.
That's all I could think, like watching that.
And then when you got Ichi in jail, there's a prisoner that wets his pants.
Oh
He sees a
yeah,
rat, what do you call a rat just kill himself in the cell, and he gets scared and pees himself, and Ichi's like, "What's that worm? What's that worm? Did you
what's
spill
that
something on
smell?
you?" Yeah.
But what makes that happen is that that guy is expecting to be rescued, like from the jail, by his brother or something. I don't know. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh boy, sorry, we can't get you out today, but your brother sent food." He's like, "Oh boy, rice balls." And he grabs it, gives one to Ichi. It rolls off into the ground because Ichi doesn't know hand-eye coordination somehow. After 20 movies of him being awesome, he drops a rice ball
Yeah.
for no reason at all. And a rat eats it and dies immediately. And that's when the guy pisses himself because he's like about to eat the poisoned rice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what causes it. I got that twisted there, and it's like the poison. They even fake being poisoned how to get out of jail.
They're like, blah, blah. It's like overacting. I loved it.
It's really bad. But yeah, Ichi gets released from jail. They tell him to leave the town. They don't want him in there anymore.
He barely gets out of town before he comes back in.
He's like right back in.
He takes a step out, and the old governor is like, "Hey, everything went to shit when the drought happened, and everyone raided the village because they knew we had, extra food, and now we're shit." And so I contacted the Yakuza to have them help us, and then they took over the town. And it's like, oh my god, it's like a snowball of bad luck.
They turned it into a gambling town. All this.
Yeah, just have Ichi go in and gamble. Like, come on. He'll win. Well, I guess not in this movie
He'll
if
win.
he's so incompetent. He can't do that.
Can't even hold a rice bowl in this movie.
I know. Like, I don't know if we ever mentioned this, but in the earlier movie, he drops the rice ball he's eating. He balances it on his foot. And he, like, kicks it up and, like, eats it. It's, like, awesome.
Yeah.
Are you telling me the
remember that
same
scene.
guy dropped a fucking rice ball while not in a cart or a carriage? He was like, "Ugh," and like dropped the rice ball. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's the issue I
think it's
have with
used
this
to
movie. He's
to show
so
that they were
fucking
poisoned.
incompetent. Huh?
I get what you're saying, but I think they used that so he could get to expose the poison in the rice, which isn't used properly. I don't think because it's like you said, it's overacted there, like the rice, the poison part, and them pretending they're poison. I don't think
And
they
why do
put
they
that together
care?
well.
They were
that
trying to
scene.
kill him in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's bizarre to
Makes
me.
no sense.
Maybe I'm nitpicky, but this movie just... Because I remember, I was like, oh shit, there's a movie where he meets with Toshiro Mifune. So I forgot the movie. And as we drew close, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I think this is the one I kind of hated because it was like wasted talent.
Yeah, I remember you really hyped for this one. And then when I heard you say, "Oh my god, this is a disaster," I was like, "Oh no, what happened?"
My best boy, Toshiro Mifune, is wasted in this fucking movie. Definitely
All he
not
does is
Seven
sleep.
Samurai.
That's
Oh
what he
my
does in
god.
this movie.
I don't want to
I'm
speak
gonna have to see that one.
blasphemy.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't want to speak blasphemy, but I kind of love Seven Samurai more than Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
I grew up on Lord of the Rings, and I
I've
loved
seen
it.
Lord of the Rings.
Have you seen the extended cuts?
No, I don't know. I had the
What?
DVDs. I don't have. That's all I have.
Oh my god, they're coming out with a
I haven't
giant
upgraded.
4K box set in October
Are
with the
they?
Hobbits and the Lord of the Rings with all new special features. I cannot wait. Oh my god.
Uh,
I don't know if pre-orders are up
yeah,
yet.
I enjoyed those movies. I thought they were good.
They're the best. But that's also me, my nerdy fucking self, so.
No, that's cool. I'm more from the old school. I like old wizardry films and
Oh, the Sword and Sorcery.
yeah, sword and
Beastmaster.
sorcery. I like the eight Beastmaster and Conan the Barbarian.
I mean, so do I.
I'm all for those. But I like Lord of the Rings. Nothing against that.
Yeah, you better not. As the number one fan.
No.
Been
I haven't
studying
seen
that
the
film
Hobbit
every
films. I
year
don't know about those.
since I was like 8. But
Yeah, I haven't seen the Hobbit films. I don't know if you have. Hobbit, you probably have.
uh, on their own, I think the special features and the making of is far more interesting. But watching the movie after the special features is like a whole thing. Because you can see every decision made
Hmm.
by the studio, and they were like, Peter Jackson, we don't trust you. Even though you made all the money in the world from Lord of the Rings, we're going to give you a quarter of the resources you had on that. And give you like
Wow.
no time at all to make the movies. Have fun. And then
Wow.
he went to the hospital because he got an ulcer in his liver because he drank so much coffee because he was working 20-hour days for like a year. And he just like his body
Damn.
just shut down, went to the hospital. It's bizarre and fucked
That's
up.
insane.
Yeah, it's the special features is awesome. I highly recommend it because everyone's like, "Oh, the movies suck," but like that's all they have. They don't have
Hmm.
reasons, and they're like, "Oh, Peter Jackson's a hack."
There's a
And I'm
reason
like, no, he's
why.
not. Peter Jackson made it good.
And all that,
It
man. That's
wasn't
crazy.
great. It wasn't Lord of the Rings. So I have a
Yeah.
I have a whole rant I can go on with that, but
I remember throwing on The Hobbit and I didn't finish it. I actually turned it off. So, need to revisit them.
the extended's a
I
little
got bored
better.
with it. I don't know why. But Lord of the Rings are awesome. I enjoyed every film.
You gotta remember. Well, I haven't told you this, but I was one of those kids who was 6 years old when the final movie came out, and I was
Oh, yeah.
outside in the pouring rain with a mop handle, pretending like I was at Helm's Deep. So like, the Lord of the Rings was a huge fucking influence on my life.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
That was your time right there.
I intend my
Yeah,
first tattoo to
I
be
was
the
already,
One Ring on my wrist.
I was already like 16, 17 probably when that came out.
Fellowship or like Return of the King.
Return of the King. Let's see what,
Oh my god, I was
when did
7.
that come out? I was a late teenager for sure.
2003.
Oh yeah, I was
You were
already
probably
out of
20.
high school by then. I was in my 20s by then. Damn.
I was 7. I'm the baby. Okay, don't forget.
Oh, man. Yeah, I still enjoyed the films though, even though I was that age.
It's timeless. I mean, I can't wait for the Amazon show because they're doing all the background stuff, like 1,000 years before the movies. Like, that's gonna
Yeah.
be insane. They have $500 million a season for the budget. Like, they better be awesome.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
Nope. I hate J.K. Rowling. She can fuck
No.
herself.
Oh, okay. Because
Are you?
I was like, I don't like Harry Potter. Oh, I've never even seen them, but it never interested me to even watch the films.
I mean, the books weren't even that good. Like, that's a shocking thing to me. Because everyone's like, wow, it's so magical. It's just so wholesome and magical. And wow. And I'm like, read literally
Yeah.
anything in the fantasy genre. Because, I mean, as you know, I do a lot of fantasy reading for my other side of the channel that nobody watches. And, like, way better options than Harry Potter. I mean, Lord of the
Yeah,
Rings. Like,
send me
fuck.
Send me Deathstalker, Conan, Beastmaster,
Deathstalker. Oh my god.
Con- Conquest,
Have you seen Deathstalker
Zatoichi.
1?
Yeah,
That movie is just rape. Rape the entire fucking film.
yeah, it's pretty disturbing.
I watched that on Amazon Prime and I was like, what am I
Those are the
watching?
films I grew up watching, so I grew up watching those films, so I just have like a soft spot for all those.
See, I get Beastmaster and like Conan and all that because it is legitimately good movies. But Deathstalker, I was like, oh my god. Like every scene, even our hero.
Yeah, it's not.
Even our hero is a rapist. Like,
Yeah, I could see that. It's lower level, but I don't know why I enjoy those films. Not the rape parts, but
that's the entire
fighting
movie.
scenes and
Though.
stuff like that.
You should watch the Redline Media episode on Deathstalker 1 and 2. It's so funny.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Do you remember that scene in Deathstalker where they're in the like castle and they're like jumping around, like during dinner, and like everyone's getting snatched up and like all this stuff?
You know what? I haven't seen it in a while. I got to revisit it. It's been a while since I've seen that one. I was gonna get the Scream Factory edition. They had it for a while, and I missed out on it. Now it's out of print.
It's like $200 now. I was like, fuck no.
Yeah, that's insane.
But there's a part in that movie.
They
where
had
they're
it on
doing
Scream
that.
Factory for $30.
Yeah, like that's what $30 is still questionable to me.
Yeah, so well, it was part 1 and 2, like a double pack.
Yeah, but like in the first one, while they're doing
Right.
that, like the whole party, like jumping through like all sorts of shit. One of the people on Redline Media is like, what do they call this genre of movie? Whimsical rape riot? Because it's like people jumping
Oh,
around
shit.
on like ropes and stuff, doing like acrobats and like raping people. Like, it's such a
Oh,
bizarre
damn.
movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of rape scenes in that. I forgot about it.
It's hilarious, honestly. It's such a product of its time.
Yeah, like a PG-13 movie back then wasn't PG-13. Let me tell you.
Oh, I know. As someone who watches as many movies as they can.
Yeah, you watch a PG-13 movie in the 80s, man, there's gonna be a lot of swears in there, and there's gonna be something that's some
Very
dirty talk in it.
homophobic. Use the
Yeah,
F word a
less
lot
sensitive.
and not
let me tell-
fucko.
Yeah.
So, Zatoichi Johnny.
There we go to the next one.
I was,
Oh no,
what?
we're still on the
still
same
on
one.
this.
Never mind.
This very
Yeah, I thought
slow,
we were on to the next one.
this very slow waste of potential that is this entire movie. Again, go watch Yoshinbo or Seven Samurai, and both actually, because the best films of all time, and see just how waste of a movie this is.
I'm gonna have to definitely look that up to see the difference.
So another
It's just
reason
not
why I
easy.
hate this movie is that scene.
That guy's pretty much punking him. Pretty much.
It's the Ashton Kutcher show. You just got punked.
You just got punked. And he's laughing while he's hanging.
Is he? He was like screaming and crying and being a little shit about it.
No, I'm saying if it was on the show Punked, he'd be laughing and not
Yeah.
on the movie.
Dude, the camera's over there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Give me a
I
rice
can't
ball.
see, but okay.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. It's very lazy the way they put these characters.
Yeah, it is very lazy. And again, why I had an issue because two world class actors, Shintaro Katsu and I gotta find his name, Toshiro Mifune, world class actors, one of the best of all time, in my opinion. And they're both wasted in this movie, and in more ways than one. Not only wasted on alcohol, but wasted on potential.
Yeah, they're not used properly. Oh, and also we have Ichi broke in this film. He has to go gamble because he has no money. I'm like, that's not Ichi. He usually has a sack of Ryu in his outfit. Why is he broke?
And he doubles it
Doesn't
in
make
like a
sense.
minute.
Yeah, but it's like Ichi should at least have a few coins in there. What the hell happened? Did you go buy some? Did you go to the brothel or what the fuck happened there, man?
Yeah, because I have here, right after that embarrassing moment when Toshiro Mifune is like, oh, I have this sake bottle. Oh my gosh, it's a 200-foot fall. And I was like, stupid. I
Yeah.
hated it. Zatoichi was like, oh, fuck you. You're making fun of disabled people. I'm leaving town. And this is the
He
scene that I
leaves
talked
like
about earlier.
crying.
Huh?
It looks like he's crying when he's leaving.
Yeah, again, stupid, out of character. And Ichi is like leaving crying, like sobbing, like on his sleeve. And Toshiro Mifune is like, blind bastard, blind bastard, blind bastard, blind bastard, blind bastard. Like over and over again. Again, you don't need to have him say it 20 times, say it twice. Because
And he loses a
literally in the
finger after
last
that.
movie, someone says, oh, shut up, blind bastard. And Ichi is like, oh, be careful. Oh, what are you gonna do, blind bastard? He's like, oh, you're pushing my buttons. Yeah, whatever you say, blind bastard. And he fucking decapitates him after 3 times. And in this movie, it's 20
Yeah.
times. And Ichi is like, oh, are you the legendary actor Toshiro Mifune? Oh, I'm gonna be easy on you. I hated this
He
movie.
even puts his head down. He puts his head down and like walks away. You're like,
Yeah.
that's not what Ichi's about.
Ichi, like, it's a Star Wars syndrome. Did you see the sequels?
No, I didn't.
Well, this
I
is
think
a
the last
very
Star Wars film I saw
Huh?
was the one with what's that guy? Kylo Ren. That's the last one I saw that has Kylo.
Oh, number 7.
Yeah, that's the last
Force
one I
Awakens.
watched.
That was the
Yeah.
best one. Shockingly. As bad
It was
as
good. I
was.
liked it. Yeah.
But the big thing about the sequel series is that everybody became stupid and out of character in order for story beats to happen. And that's this movie. all of our characters became really fucking stupid, i.e., Zatoichi, just to show how awesome Toshiro Mifune was. And I hated that.
Yeah, they just fill out a place. I don't understand. They're not used effectively throughout this film
Like,
at all.
it just seemed like there was too many story handles in this movie. There was the whole Zatoichi helping the merchant. Toshiro Mifune was doing whatever the fuck he was doing. It's not even clear. There was the whole like, oh, we're looking for gold. Where's the gold at? And obviously it's in the statues. Like, come on.
And the Buddha statues, yeah.
Yeah. And like, the movie was much longer than it needed to be. Again, these movies are usually 80 minutes long. This movie was 120 minutes long. 40 minutes longer than usual. And I felt it.
That's like way too long. It makes it drag. I definitely did. I saw plenty of flaws throughout this film.
And you're not even a nitpicker.
And I was actually pretty psyched with the title. No, I'll actually watch a bad film and say, hey, it was alright. I'll find something out of it. But this one, and I did find some out of this film that I liked, but it was very small stuff. Like, I like how they call each other Beast and Monster.
Huh?
I like how they call each other Beast and Monster throughout the film. I don't know why.
Again, they should have leaned more on that and made something from that. But it was just like, oh, Beast, oh, Monster. Yeah. And I was like, oh. Like, I see what they're going for, but it doesn't work at all.
Yeah, it's not used properly.
Because the whole thing with White Fire, probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but also one of the most, like, charismatic films that I've ever seen, where you can see the passion of the director coming through. All the actors really want this movie to succeed. The band who makes that shitty song White Fire, I
was playing it in my car earlier.
Yeah, like, it's a really catchy song. And like, that movie succeeds so much despite the odds. Like, nothing works for it in that movie.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Zatoichi...
It's like so bad it's epic.
So bad it's good. My favorite genre. Troll 2.
Yeah.
Suburban Sasquatch. Which, Vinegar Syndrome, I know you're listening to this because I am over the moon about my ego. If you're listening to this, release Suburban Sasquatch on the Homegrown Horrors collection. Please. That movie is bananas.
I heard you talking about that one.
There's no Blu-ray release of it. I had to get rid of my DVD copy because it's scratched up.
I heard you talk about that film, but I know nothing about it.
It is insane. Even my dad loved it, and he hates those movies.
Wow.
I have no other notes for this movie. I gave up. What do you have?
I just have. Let's see. I just have that they meet up at the end. They find the powdered gold.
Oh yeah,
and they're both laughing. Like, well, first Ichi's going through the gold and pretty much pocketing it, and then I'm gonna call him Beast. Yojimbo shows up. Yeah, there you go. He shows up and like right by him getting the gold. I thought that was funny. And he's like, "Yeah, you're thinking like me."
If only.
They were supposed to fight, but they didn't. I don't know. I didn't get it.
Is that the title of the movie? Oh no, Zatoichi meets Yoshinbo. Okay.
Yeah, they're actually in a fight scene, like a straight serious fight scene at the end. But then they stop because the girl's alive. So let's just stop and go to her corner.
You said you watched Batman vs Superman, right?
Yeah.
It reminded me of the moment where it's like, tell Martha that I'm her son. You know Martha?
Yeah.
It's like the shittiest fucking sequence of my life.
Yeah, that was pretty weak. I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
My mommy's name is Martha.
So I'm not gonna stick you with kryptonite right now.
God, I hated that movie. Oh my god.
I liked it. I liked the extended cut. I didn't like the original cut.
Oh, Justice League?
No, the Batman versus Superman
It
extended
was a
cut.
supercut?
Yeah, yeah.
I
There's an
didn't know
extended
that.
cut. That's way better.
Well, good
Yeah, the
thing that I
original
don't
cut
care enough
sucks.
to rewatch it.
Yeah,
I hated it.
that film got a lot of hate.
Good.
Nah, I actually enjoyed it. I don't know why. I like bad movies though.
See, my issue is that I see all the potential of these movies, and I'm like, come on, be good, be good. And I see what they are, and I'm like, oh. So I seeing like your child in like a competition, and they
Yeah.
end up last. And it's like, oh. It's like disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah.
My kid's
I'll
gonna
watch
be in the
anything Batman.
MLB. Oh no, he can't even hit the ball with the bat. Okay. Reevaluate my dreams for my kid.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of like, how would you call it? I'm a Batman fan, so it might be a little like my favorite.
Okay, I will give you this. Batman was awesome in the Zack Snyder movies. That was probably the best Batman. Although he completely goes against his ideals of not killing people. Because he fucking murders
Yeah.
people in those
Murders
movies.
motherfuckers. Yeah.
He just fucking kills
I think that's
them
why I
with a
even
bathroom, like, toilet, like, cap. Just fucking beats the head over.
yeah. And I think that's what I liked about it because I'm a gore fiend, dude, and I like killings and getting to that dark shit. I think that's why I liked it.
See, I get it for, like, any other movie, but for Batman, the guy who's supposed to never murder anyone ever, like,
Yeah.
you gotta remember I'm a
Stay-
nitpicky guy who cares about theme and all that, so.
Yeah. And me, I'm like, let's cut their head off, bro. Let's get it going.
It's like a Dolly Dearest. Have you seen that movie by Vinegar Syndrome?
Yeah, I have.
It's shockingly good.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I love that movie.
I mean, I know it's a Child's Play ripoff, but Rip Torn is fucking awesome in that movie.
Yeah. That doll creeped the shit out of me when I was growing up.
I didn't discover it until the last 6 months. So,
Wow.
I can't comment on growing up with it, but Poltergeist scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah, oh yeah. I watched Dolly Dearest when I was 9 years old.
I watched it when I was 24 years old.
And did it still scare you?
I will say I really like the filmmaking of it. Rip Torn is awesome. Have you seen Freddy Got
Torn
Fingered?
rules.
What's your opinion on Freddy Got Fingered?
I love it.
Good. I love it too.
I like when he takes his house to like where is it?
It's like
Iraq or Afghanistan.
or something.
Yeah. He moves his house all the way over there. He's like,
Jacks off an elephant.
oh man. That film's classic. Have you seen a film Hot Rod?
Yeah, with Jesse Eisen. No. Adam
Adam Sandberg or something like that?
Adam Sandberg, yeah.
Yeah. Do you like that one?
That one's hilarious. I haven't seen it in like 10 years, but the scene
Yeah.
where he's continually
I love when
falling
he's
down
fighting
the
his
hill
dad,
is
dude. He
hilarious.
challenges his dad to a fight. Yeah.
He's like, oh, wow, wow,
That
just for
was
like
that
10
movie.
minutes.
He goes to his stepdad and he has to fight him, bro. He like challenges him to a fist fight. They're gonna fight in the house.
Mad Max fist fight.
Yeah, it's I don't know. That movie just cracked me up. Everyone says that's a dumb movie, and I'm like, yeah,
It
that's
is
why
a
I like
dumb
it.
movie. That's what's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. That's so stupid. I'm like, yeah, it's right up my alley.
Freddy Got Fingered is a weird movie. Yeah, and no Blu-ray of it yet.
I used to put my clothes backwards and say, I'm the backwards man. The backwards man.
I'm gonna make
It's
you
just
proud.
it's weird, but so funny.
Proud. I'm gonna make you proud, Daddy. Proud. That movie is bananas. Red Letter Media did a deep dive analysis.
My
of that
brother-in-law disowned me for liking that movie.
Well, that's on him, man. He's losing out.
Exactly. Like that movie's the stupidest movie ever, but of course she'd like it. I was like, you know me? I like them stupid movies.
There is a director's cut that John Green wanted to make of Freddy Got Fingered.
Was he relate? Uh-huh.
So instead of release the Snyder cut, they should release the Green cut.
There you go. I'll put a sign up or wear a shirt. Release the green cut.
Yeah, I mean, so will I. I mean, hang out in my local mall.
Backwards clothes on.
No clothes on. Have you seen the movie Sex Drive?
No, I think I've heard of that one though, but I haven't seen
Oh
it.
my god, because you reminded me of a scene in it where you go to the local mall and you advertise. There's a scene where one of our main characters is playing a donut, and local teens, like every weekend, keep sticking a giant black dildo on our main character in his donut suit. And he's walking through the show like, hey, you want to try some donuts? You know, whatever. Like Krispy Kreme. And he walks up to this, like, little girl who's, like, 5 years old. And, like, a father who's, like, in his 30s. And he's like, hey, I got something sweet for your daughter. And this is giant dildo.
Oh man.
It's the most hilarious
I said
movie
fucking
ever.
pervert or something like that.
So, Zatoichi?
Sounds wild. Oh yeah.
21.
Zatoichi,
Is there anything
stay away
else
from the
in
donuts.
20 you want to talk about? Because I gave up on my notes eventually.
No, I think I explained everything there. It's about the gold part. That was it.
That was interesting, but not enough to, like, bring the movie back up.
Not the. Was it? Wasn't enough to save it.
Yeah. But the next one is actually she goes to the fire festival, which maybe I was asleep during this part, but I don't remember any fire festivals in this movie. The movie was made in 1970. Same director as Lone Wolf and Cub. The final movie by Lone Wolf and Cub director, which was sad. So I was like, oh no. The next 4 movies are gonna suck. Because he's like the awesome director.
There's no hope. There's no hope for him. Let's see, I'm trying to put my notes in order here. Okay.
I love the intro of this movie. Do you all remember it?
Get to it. What the? I don't know my notes.
All the letters are flowing into each other.
Man, I have my notes out of. Okay, here we go. 20.
121.
21. What the?
21.
Okay, I think I'm right here. I think so.
You don't know so?
I don't know so.
Oh my god.
This is just odd. Because usually I start with the film begins, but I don't have that. No.
Will just sent me an email about my some video.
Man, I cannot find the beginning of my notes. This is weird. Continue.
Did you
continue.
write it?
Okay. Oh, shit.
I'm keeping this in, by the way.
Oh, that can't be it.
The struggle.
Oh, man. Dude, like, I have continued, but then it's not continue.
Oh my god.
Man, this is a mind fuck right here.
What intonation?
What in beer tarnation is this?
Were you a SpongeBob kid?
I watched it, but I wasn't a kid.
Cause I was. I'm also the baby of the group, so.
I like SpongeBob, yeah. I grew up on like Looney Tunes and
Technically, so was I.
I used to be one where the Looney Tunes were babies. They're smaller. I forgot what it's called, but I used to watch it.
Baby Looney Tunes? I don't know.
Something like that. They were like the kid Looney Tunes. Yeah, like
Rugrats,
the
when they
female
became,
Bugs
like,
Bunny.
teenagers.
Yeah, but in reverse. Yeah, like the female Bugs Bunny girl. She had like high top tennis shoes. Which is real cool.
Huh.
I forgot what the show was called. No, we had like I grew up on He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I finally got around to watching the movie.
Did you? What'd you think of it?
See, the parts that were good were amazing, but the times when they were just fucking around doing nothing, I hated it. Hated it.
Yeah.
Like, anytime Skeletor was
Yeah,
on screen,
I wasn't
like,
a fan of the movie. And he was played by William Sadler, man.
He did Death in Bill and
I
Ted.
had hopes for him. A lot of people like it, but I didn't. Yeah, Death. I don't know. It failed for me. I enjoyed the cartoon way more.
I mean, so did I. I mean, I had all the toys of it, so. I had Castle Grayskull on the toy, so.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I had all those.
See, we're not too different.
I had the little guy. Yeah. I had the little wizard guy. I forgot his name. But I had him as a pencil eraser in school.
Oh, well, I didn't have that. I didn't have that level of capitalism.
Yeah, my eraser was the little wizard guy.
Your Eraserhead. Have you seen Eraserhead by David Lynch?
I haven't.
What? Oh my god.
I've
Film.
heard of it.
Shit, we're just gonna end up doing that. Fucking David Lynch. Watch through. One movie a week.
That'd be cool.
Because
I think I've only watched.
What?
I've only seen Lost Highway.
That movie's
and
weird.
What else from him?
That was the first movie I saw, too.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Because I was a fan of Rammstein and Marilyn Manson. Because I was that kid in elementary school.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, Daddy, let's rent Lost Highway. And he's like, oh, this looks weird. But my son wants it, so it can't be too bad.
Yeah.
Little did he know as the weirdo child that I was. It was like, let's watch Lost Highway. I've seen it like 6 times by now. And I still have no idea what the fuck that movie is. There's a 20-page essay about the movie. And I'm like, yep, sounds fine. I don't know if it's true, but yeah, sure.
I've only seen it twice, and I don't get it at all.
I love the fact that David Lynch sabotaged the Kino Lorber release.
That's the one I have.
He sabotaged it so fucking hard. I kind of hate him for it, but at the same time, I'm like, I understand, because he is a big Criterion, like, hustler. Like, a bunch of his movies, Eraserhead, Elephant Man, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, like, a bunch of movies of his has ended up on Criterion, and he has bent over backwards for the special features, where it's him sitting in a room for 3 hours just answering whatever question. But, like, for Lost Highway, Kino Lorber was like, hey, come on over to our office and, do some, documentaries. And he won't even, like, pick up the phone.
Oh. Must have been something that happened there for him to do that.
Because Kino Lorber, they talked about this really openly, about how much they reached out to David Lynch. And David Lynch did not return a single email or phone call about Lost Highway. And so they just put out the most basic fucking Blu-ray release ever. And then it was found out that, like, David Lynch was like, oh yeah, I got it, but I didn't respond. I don't like them. I
got it right here. I'm actually looking at it right now that you said that. Yeah, there's no fucking special features on it, dude, at all.
They had, like, commentaries, documentaries.
I have the copy right here.
A bunch of stuff ready. And David Lynch was like, fuck you. You're not Criterion. Because Criterion is, like, the hallmark of, like, film collecting.
Oh, yeah, it's top. Top of the chain.
The food chain.
Top of the food chain, man.
I don't know, man. Eraserhead is a legit classic of film, in my opinion.
Is it? I'm gonna have to see that one.
So
I've heard a lot of people rave about it.
I mean, it was part of the Midnight Run, where, like, John Waters had Pink Flamingos, Rocky Horror Picture Show, Elephant Man, kind of. Night of the Living Dead was part of that one.
I want to see Elephant Man. I haven't. Oh. They just released it on 4K.
I have it on the Criterion. I haven't opened it yet because I've been wanting to do a David Lynch watch through, which we could do if you really want. The Criterion flash sale is coming about a month or two, where you can pick up, Mulholland Drive and
some Lynch.
Yeah. But, like,
I want
Lynch.
to dig into some of those films.
Have you seen Twin Peaks?
Nah.
Dude, it's on Netflix.
Like I told you, the only film I've seen of his is Lost Highway. Only one.
I don't want to say the words, what a shame, but at the same time, what a shame. Because he has so many good movies. Mulholland Drive is really good. I guess you'll wait for the 4K. I'm sure that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to pick that up.
Racerhead, Twin Peaks. Wild at Heart, I'm going to buy that tonight after we do our episode.
Wild at Heart. That's the one I was eyeing. That's with Nicolas Cage, right?
Yep. It's half off this weekend. Have we seen 12-2?
Yeah. So I haven't seen it in years, but I have seen it.
So you know how the guy is like, oh my god, she's eating her. And then she's gonna eat me. Oh my god.
You know what? I forgot that film. I haven't seen it since I was like honestly, a kid.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
I watch it
it's
like
been that
every
long.
year. It's such a classic. It's so bad.
I've heard it's so bad it's good.
But I made my dad watch the movie because I was like, hey, you'll like this a lot. Because for years, I was always like, oh my God. Like, on anything that my parents mentioned, they were like, why are you saying that? And finally, I was like, okay, Dad, you're going to watch the greatest film of all time, better than Kurosawa. And he watched it, and he thought it was the funniest shit ever. And so
I
now
need to
he's like,
revisit it.
oh my God. Like,
Yeah, it's. I need to revisit it. It's been years since I've seen that one.
Shout Factory had a Troll 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, and a double pack.
It's sold out now. It's probably $300 to buy it.
Yeah,
Have you
ridiculous.
seen the documentary about Troll 2? Best West movie?
No, like I told you, I saw it when it was in cable back in the day.
Oh, wow.
It's been that long.
The documentary is bananas.
I want to get it. They released it on a media book, but now that thing's out of print.
$400.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Because I want that movie Ticks. Have you seen Ticks from the
I
90s?
think I have. Let me look it up.
I freaking love that movie, and the Blu-ray goes for like 100 and some dollars. It's out of print.
Of course. Just like Apocalypto by Mel Gibson. That was like a
Yeah,
$200 Blu-ray. And it wasn't even like had special features. It was just like a shitty Blu-ray.
yeah, that's a good movie too. Jaguar Paw.
Oh, Seth Green is in this movie.
Yeah, Seth Green's in it.
Clint
That movie's
Howard.
fun as hell, man. Clint Howard. They have the DVD for $20 on a website. But the Blu-ray is like $200 right now.
I paid $20 for a Killer Condom DVD at that price.
Hmm I'm thinking of getting the DVD. I don't know.
I'm still. Have you seen Killer Condom yet?
Or I haven't. No.
Well,
I
hopefully
hear
the
you rave about
Octagon
that one.
Horror
That's one I gotta
Collection
see.
brings out uh, Killer Condom.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that day to hear you dance live online.
Oh, I'll be breakdancing. Don't you worry. Well, I'll be right back. I need to go piss.
That'll be me too. That'll be the same with me on Miami Connection when it gets released.
Oh my god, don't even tempt me, dude. I love that movie. But so yeah,
Yeah.
Zatoichi.
Oh, we're back to Zatoichi, man.
I have nothing to say about this movie. The movie is
No.
called. It's 21. Zatoichi 21. It's called Zatoichi Goes to the Fire Festival. Maybe I was asleep when we got the Fire Festival, but it's the final movie directed by Kenji Misume, who did Lone Wolf and Cub. Made in 1970, so you know the 70s, spaghetti westerns and um, exploitation samurai films, you know, so on and so forth.
Hmm
So I love the intro because he's being chased by a dog, and the music is like so fucking tense, as
Yeah,
if he's being
it's
killed.
great.
But in reality, it's like a cute dog being like bark, 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 bark. And it's like he's like, oh no, oh. It's like
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. It's his running's unique. He has that like funny run to him.
the penguin one.
Yeah, like kind of yeah, penguin like.
I do want to give a big shout out to my favorite actor ever, Tatsuya Nakade. He plays the main stoic samurai. He's the guy who in Yoshinbo had the pistols, which I talked about a long time ago. I mixed up the actors. But this actor is the guy who plays the main villain in Yoshinbo. He uses pistols to fire at Toshiro Mifune. And then in Sword of Doom, which Toshiro Mifune is also part of, Tatsuya Nakade is a villain, and he kills people with his awesome sword powers. So, yeah.
Sounds cool. Yeah, and this one
All
we have.
Criterion movies. Definitely check it out. If you haven't
I
already.
definitely will. Yeah, and this one we got Ichi. He pretty much rescues a girl. She's being. They have like a where they're auctioning girls off in this film, pretty much.
I call it the
Yeah,
mistress auction.
yeah, yeah. And there's this creep guy that he's bidding on a girl, and he pretty much wins her. And Ichi knows that he's gonna do some bizarre stuff to her, so he pretty much goes to, I guess, rescue her. But then you got this other swordsman who interferes and pretty much kills all the guys
Played
when
by
they're taking her.
Tatsuya Nakade.
Yeah, and Ichi takes her to a place like a pretty much like this. I'd say it's like a farmhouse, and she pretty much she steals Ichi's coins, takes off to the bottom,
Immediately dies.
and then meets up with her so-called lover, and he pretty much kills her. And Ichi goes there and like, oh my god, she's dead. I'm
Why did
supposed
I
to
let her
protect her,
do this?
whatever. Even though she pretty much, I didn't care for her because she stole from him. But
Ichi is a baby.
yeah, and he's like trying to avenge her somehow, and he sees the guy run off in the dark, whatever. And you got what I have after that. My notes are all mixed up here. That's crazy.
The woman
Yeah.
at the mistress auction.
Mhm.
One of the woman ends up being a retainer for a high lord or something, and it's sold for 380 Rio. Something ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah.
And Zatoichi saves her on the road, and Tatsuya Nakade kills everybody as they run away. And he allows her to steal the purse, and she's murdered for it. And the next scene that I have written down here is that a bunch of assholes are like throwing eggs at each other and like breaking them and saying like, "Oh, you didn't pay your tariffs on like eggs."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then at one point they throw an egg, and Zatoichi catches it in his mouth, and then it's like,
Yeah. That was real
"Oh, you
cool.
think you're so special?" Blech, and like spits the egg out and hits the guy in the face. The egg breaks and yolk goes everywhere. It was like pretty
Oh
funny.
yeah. Yeah. That is a funny, very funny scene. I really enjoyed that one. And then you have him pretty much. He's gambling. Ichi's gambling, and he's winning big time. And you have this mysterious girl just go right next to him, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get in. You're winning." So she gets in there and pretty much
Oh yeah.
wins as well. And then she just leaves real mysteriously. So you're like wondering, who's this girl? Ichi's, you could tell he's right away head over heels for her.
Just like every movie.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. And he's trying to find who she is. He's searching for her. And let's see where I'm at here.
But after that happens, Zatoichi meets like a very flamboyant son of a boss
Yeah.
named Yumeji. And Yumeji is apparently like really anti like Yakuza, doesn't fit in at all. And so Ichi is like, give me 100 Rio and I will give you permission to become, a boss or whatever. And so he brings it to him, and Ichi is like, oh my god, I can't believe you did this. And so he ties all the Rio into the rope for like no reason at all, and then hangs it on like a hook outside of his windows. So it becomes like a wind chime. It's like really bizarre.
Yeah. And then they go to sleep.
Yeah, and
Ichi does.
Zatoichi wakes up the next morning and is like, "Hey, did you sleep at all?" And Yumeji is like, "No, not at all." He's like, "Okay, good. That means that you're not too far gone in terms of
Yeah.
your morality." And I'm like, "Yeah, there you go, Zatoichi. Way more interesting than Toshiro Mifune."
Yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty much a test. He wants to test him to see if he's pretty much a humble guy or not. No, because he's pretty much trying to be a yakuza, but like you said, he's kind of a cross dresser or whatever. So they don't take his manliness serious.
Yeah, very
And
flamboyant. So.
I feel he's trying to like prove himself a lot.
Because he calls himself a true man, and Zatoichi's just like, a true man.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. And I'm like, I mean, he's trying. Like,
Yeah. And what I have against this character is he's in the film and then he disappears. You don't see him for a long old time.
yeah. That's not something I noticed, but I realize it now. Now that you've said it.
He's gone through the film for like pretty much till the ending. He shows up. But anyways, you got a bath scene where Ichi gets in the bath.
My
This is a
favorite
humor
scene
scene.
in this movie.
Yeah. He puts his nose in the bathtub and this guy farts. This is an he just farts.
I wrote that.
Ichi's nose is in the he's like making these funny faces like he has a bad taste in his mouth, and I don't know. I find those humor scenes just to be so entertaining.
I put down that he goes to a bathhouse and someone farts bubbles at him. He's like,
Yeah.
like sniffing at the fart bubbles. He's like, ugh.
Oh man. That's real crazy. And then you have these guys that are pretty much after him.
And we get the best action scene ever.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm at that part yet. Yeah, they attack him in the bath, and he's just all these guys with Yakuza tattoos are just trying to slice him up, and he's just taking them out one by one. It's like the whole bathtub turns into a bloodbath.
Yeah, that's what I loved. But my favorite part of the scene is the fact that he throws a bunch of buckets on people's heads, and they can't see.
Yeah,
He just cuts them down.
that was cool, man. I thought that was cool as fuck, man. Yeah, and then he all these guys are fighting butt naked. I was like, that's weird.
So is
But
that
anyways,
Because I remember long ago, maybe our second episode, I was like, I remember there was a scene where everybody fought naked. And I was like, every time we got a segment done, I was like, oh, maybe it didn't happen. And the more that we did, I was like, oh, the less confident I was and that it happened.
yeah,
And then I was like, oh, wait, I was right. They did fight naked, without, any, like, underwear or whatever.
I have a question about this film. You know a scene where he passes a horse? Does it pee on him, the horse?
I was probably asleep in that part.
Yeah, because he's passing a horse and it like pisses on him. All kinds of piss goes all over
I
him.
wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, I enjoyed this film a lot. It's probably my favorite one out of them.
Really? Because I don't remember
hmm
anything.
Out of this out of these recent films, not the whole franchise,
I don't know, man.
not the whole
I
series.
definitely loved and the fugitives. That one was really good.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
I mean,
But this one
Takashi
really got me,
Shimura
man.
was in it. I mean, that's like balances out everything.
Yeah, solid, definitely. He meets back up with a beautiful lady. I'm gonna say Akiyu. I can't say the name Akiyu, but she's the one that's pretty much the mysterious lady. He meets back up with her, and she's pretty much, how could I say it? She's pretty much flirting with him in a way, but and he's following it, but it's for a reason. And then you see this swordsman come back, the one that sliced the girl at the beginning, and he tells Ichi to follow him to a bridge.
Yeah.
And then that's when you see where he says that he accuses Ichi of sleeping with his wife at the beginning. But Ichi's like, no matter what I tell you,
I
you're
had
not
no
going to
dick.
believe me. So, yeah, no matter what, we're going to fight here.
This is what the script demands.
And he slices the flower or whatever that Ichi has or something, a flower. But, anyways, oh, we find out Okiyu's intentions weren't good, that she wanted Ichi dead all along. The sweetheart that he's in love with is actually out to get him.
Huh. Again, I fell asleep
Oh, you fell
in the
asleep
last
during it?
20 minutes, so I don't remember anything. So, you're the expert.
I have the notes here on what I'm going off, but I don't know about the expert, but it says the man, well, actually, the swordsman that he's meeting up with that's accusing him says he won't kill him now, that it's not worth it. That he pretty much tells Ichi the only reason that I'm that I'm living right now is to kill you. So he's all, I'm gonna make sure it's, I take my time.
Huh.
And then you got, this is like a love story because you got like Ichi, Okiyu, they're walking down a trail. This one's pretty cool because they're walking down a trail and some swordsmen just attack Ichi randomly and he kills them all and then puts his sword back in while Okiyu don't even see it. They're like walking and he just like pulls his sword out, slices them, and then puts it back in. And he's just walking with her like nothing happened. I thought that was pretty cool. And at the
Yeah.
same time, when he kills these guys, he slices a tree at the same time.
Yeah, I remember there was a scene in the last movie where he cut the tree in half and just fell over. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's the scene. He kills all those guys and slices a tree at the same time. And I thought that was a cool moment. And then they go on their love walk. This is like a love story, which I really dug in the film. But even though she's out to kill him, he doesn't know. But then there's a scene where they get on a wagon, it loses control, and he's pretty much trying to catch it. The wheel falls off, she falls off, and Ichi falls down a cliff. And she thinks that he's dead. But then actually, that's when she starts to develop feelings for Ichi. Because she rescues him, and that's where you get this. She starts to turn good, pretty much. She doesn't want to kill him anymore. She realizes he's kind-hearted and falls for the guy. You know how Ichi gets the women through the films.
Yep.
So she pretty much runs away, leaves him there, tells Ichi not to. Oh, he gets a letter where the main boss is telling him to show up at the fire festival, and she tells him don't go to that fire festival because she's all there's bad things gonna happen to you, and then she runs away. And then that's where you get the cross-dressed guy come back into the film.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's when he pretty much tries to kill Ichi in his sleep. And Ichi's like, what are you trying to do here, man? That's a sneaky move or whatever." And
Just like every
and
movie.
he's like, "I got to prove myself to show I'm a true yakuza." And Ichi's like, "That's not the way to do it. You got to do it honorable." And he teaches that guy a lesson or whatever. And pretty much this boss he meets up with is blind as well.
The
So
most
they're throwing
interesting
jokes at
part of
each
the
other.
movie.
Yeah, they're throwing uh jokes at each other, and then like he's like, "I like you," but then when Ichi leaves, this boss meets in like a meeting, and he tells all the guys they vote. They like have these wooden chips where they vote if they want to kill Ichi or not, and the
Got
votes are
anonymous.
like they're anonymous. There's only one guy that voted not to kill Ichi, so now they have a hit on Ichi, and he doesn't even know. He thinks these guys are his friends. I'm going off on this film because I really enjoyed it.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, I'll say that. I just had a hard
I
time
love this film for
relating
some
to
reason.
it.
I don't know why. And then the ending, well, I'm not there yet, but
I will say I fell asleep in the last 20 minutes before the
man,
final
you need
battle.
to rewatch this one because I thought it was real solid. My opinion.
I don't know. I mean, it was
And then
good.
this mhm.
I liked it. I just had a hard time just staying interested.
And I was complete opposite, man. I was glued to this one.
I mean,
Yeah, the
17,
boss has
18 was really good. 19 was. Oh, no. 18, 19 was really good. 20 was bad. 21, I watched most of it and I was like, this is good. Now I fell asleep.
this was my favorite. This was my favorite one. Yeah, they actually and then they capture Akuyu, or her name. I'm slaughtered the name, but they have Ichi set up for it, and they pretty much this is where it leads to that fire festival. They have him show up, and they're gonna play a game of odds or even. They're in the middle of this like water, and they're about to play like a game of odds or even. And then they have it's him and the main boss, the villain that set him up, that wants him dead, and he pretty much tells him, you're never gonna win this game. Did you know that you're set up pretty much?" And he's like, "What?" And then they bring out the girl, his love interest. They have her captured, her dad and her brother, and they pretty much have a setup. The guy moves away, and they have Ichi in a raft. And when they get out of there, the whole water's full with like oil or gas. And then you have these guys go with like candlelight sticks. They're pointing at Ichi and firing at him, and then they just light the freaking water on fire, bro. And you just see like all this fire just trying to burn Ichi. He's in the middle, just like gonna burn. You're like, oh man, is this Ichi gonna get? Is this his demise or not? Of course it's not, but you see Ichi get under the water, swim away. I'm going off on this film because I enjoyed it, but um, that's when he's gone, and the boss is like, "Is he dead? Is he dead?" And then you see like this awesome scene. It's just dark, and all of a sudden you just see all of this boss's men just falling one by one, and pretty much you see Ichi come out. Let me find this. He comes out of the darkness. You know that already. He says, "He's all we. This is the baddest saying I had in a film. We yakuzas are outlaws who walk the black roads of society."
Oh.
And then all of a sudden he starts to slice all of his men up, man. It's just, oh man, that scene gave me chills. He starts to kill all the men like that, and the boss is panicking. Kill him, do what you got to do. And then all of a sudden, you just see Ichi disappear, and this villainous boss asshole kills the brother, the little boy, and the dad. Which the dad was working for the boss, gonna take his spot, but it was just all set up. And then you hear the boss say, like, pretty much, come out, we're gonna kill your love interest, we're gonna slice her. So Ichi comes out and starts killing fools just left and right out of the dark. And then you see like the boss say, well, if you don't drop that sword, we're gonna kill her. So he puts the sword to her throat, and that's when Ichi drops the sword, his cane sword, and he walks over, and the boss is like, he gets close to him, and he's like this, I'm gonna enjoy killing you slowly. He tells Ichi, this is a joy for me. As he gets close to Ichi has these two daggers in his sleeve. He pulls one out and sends it through the boss's throat. You just see it go through his throat. And you just see all the men pretty much panic. And all of a sudden, all the men are rushing at Ichi, and the swordsman, the one from the beginning, shows up randomly and just starts killing all the all the villain soldiers. And that's when you get the epic showdown between the swordsman and Ichi. They have a no, actually he kills all those guys, and then later on they're at a river, and Ichi tells him, "Do you still want to kill me?" And that swordsman's like, "I hold my grudges to the fullest." So he pretty much tells him, like, you know what, we're gonna battle to the death. That's the way it is. So Ichi's like, I don't want to kill this guy, but he challenged me, and they get in a real intense fight by a river. I really like the river setting. And it's cool because as they're fighting on this river setting, they're fighting, and then this guy goes to slice Ichi, but a reflection from the sun hits, and in the reflection you see, the wife from the beginning that he killed. You see her face in the reflection, and then that's how the guy dies. I just thought that was one of the best scenes I've ever seen. And Ichi tells, of course, the girl he's not going to stay with her. Like, I was in love with you, but I'm no fool. No, he says a sighted woman full of blind man. And then he walks off into the, he walks in his trail. I pretty much went off on that film because I enjoyed it that much. But that's
You
what I
had a
had
lot
written
more
down.
notes than I did, so I'm happy.
So sorry, I went on a little rant there, bro. But
I do the same, so.
I just enjoyed that film a lot, so I talked about it.
That's great because I fell asleep while watching.
Man, you got to rewatch that movie.
I'll think
I
about
don't
it.
I don't know if it'd be up your, but man, I don't know, that whole film, what I built up to there to that ending was like, I'm not gonna say the best, but one of the best that I watched,
Oh,
in my opinion.
that's bold moves coming from part three.
Yeah, yeah, it's very bold.
Part three was just awesome all the way.
So if you hear a undead rant, that was it.
Hey, I'm happy. So
As long as you approve there, man, because you're the one that's schooling me on this series right here.
dude, I fell asleep while watching this movie, so you're the expert on this movie.
I love this movie, man. I don't know what it was about it. I like a love story, and then it leads to like a battle. I don't know. It's kind of like Shakespeare's. I don't know.
Yeah. Anything else you
But
have?
that is all I have. That's my whole notes I just spilled to you there on a rant.
Because the last note that I have is that Zatoichi shields his dick while fighting the people in the bathtub. That's the last thing I have.
I probably really did do that. Yeah, you got to shield that dick, man. You don't want to get him mangled.
Yes, in the 1970s, it's not just Franco film.
Yeah, it's not. What is it? Black boots and leather whips.
Yeah,
What the
that is
fuck?
the movie.
I just got released from Severin. But anyways, I went off there, man. So if you want to take some of that shit off, go ahead, man.
So, is that all that we have on the notes?
That's all I. Yeah, I'd say that's all I got, man. I don't know if there's anything else you want to discuss. I know you said you fell asleep, so
Yeah, I fell asleep. I was like, whatever. I just passed out. Forgot about it. But the final fight was really good. I mean, I liked it.
yeah, it's one of my favorite endings.
So the next batch of episodes we're doing, our final episode. Oh my god, it is. I don't believe it at all. Um, 22. We're doing 22 to 25, the final episode. 22 is Zatoichi meets the one-armed swordsman. 23 is Zatoichi at large, which is okay if I remember right. 24 is Zatoichi in desperation. Oh no, what is gonna happen
Yeah,
there? And
that
25
sounds
is
intense.
Zatoichi's conspiracy. So
Can't wait, man. You said there's no ending to this series, but
it can literally go on forever.
I still want to see what happens. Yeah, it's been a blast, though. That's what I gotta say. Like you
Yeah,
said, it's 50-50 on the films.
I think we could. I don't know. It's probably too long to discuss now, but our next series I kind of want to do is the masterpiece of samurai films, going through Kurosawa, Sword of Doom, just all of those movies that I suggested for the
Yeah.
series, in which none of us followed it. So
Sounds
I don't know if you
interesting.
know this, but we're at 3 hours and a half for this episode.
No way. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch and take out all the supplemental stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for joining with me today. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. No problem, man. Having a blast on this film series.
It's coming to an end.
How sad.